The second item is the earthquake claims update as of the 30th of April 2014. The recommendation is that the report be received. Moved Raf Manji, seconded Andrew Turner. Any discussion? Jani Johansson.
Just wanted to confirm that we've received the 26 million that covered costs to 30th June 2013 from Sarah the Crown. That claim was lodged in September 2013. I think we heard at the committee that we had progress on that, so I just wanted to confirm that it's been put into our bank and it's in our funds.
Peter, come to the table, thank you. And Diane, yes, thank you.
The answer is we expect to receive that money today.
So, this is kind of what we heard at the committee that it was going to come.
No, this is really expected today. We've raised the invoice, they've told us they've got the money, it's just processing through into the system. Yes. So we do expect it at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's been approved by Cabinet and really seriously expected today.
Okay. So we've only been hearing it for the last month, for like the last year, but that's cool. Thank you for following that up.
Raf Manji.
Yeah, just to follow up, obviously we get the interest for that as well. While I'm reminded, the social housing payment, that 15 million, have we got that yet?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, cool.
All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Carried. And now the V-Base Limited draft statement of intent. And again, Raf Manji, you happy to move that? And seconded Councillor Turner. That the council accept the draft statement of intent for V-Base Limited. Jani Johansson.
I'm really unhappy about 3.4, where we're basically being told at the stadium, V-Base are recovering its direct costs, but are not making any profit. And I just want to be reassured that they're actually paying off the debts that they have. I'm also really concerned about 3.42 and 3.43, where V-Base are asking us to, negotiating with us, an additional charge from council to pay for arrangements in regards to those two events. So, that we've just been pretty tight at cutting a lot of stuff on our budget, and now we've got the expectation that we're going to be spending more money on these events through V-Base, which really concerns me. So I'd really like an understanding of, in the statement of intent, can we remove that expectation so that V-Base are really clear? We do not have more money to give towards these events. We've put in enough money, and they should actually be making it out of their operations.
Can someone help us at the end of the table?
3.43 are where V-Base is seeking to recover its own staff costs for running those projects, which is running on behalf of the council. So it would be normal where you engage someone to run something on your behalf to recover it, and that's what they're seeking to do. Now the staff on the council side will have to meet it from their existing budgets.
On 341 and the Stadium Trust, I was directed yesterday to investigate and progress discussions, including the financial health and payment background around the Stadium Trust, so I'll be doing that.
Yeah, I think really the question is, given that rugby are making some quite nice profits, I think we need to make sure that V-Base are actually getting the costs back, but also I hope that they are thinking that they do need to make some money to pay off the debt that we've taken on as a council on their behalf, so that they can actually be...
Section 3.6 talks about V-Base repaying 29.5 million of its debt by the end of 14-15, yep, and 42.2 by the end of 15-16.
Yeah, that's good.
Ali?
Can I ask, with regards to the operation of V-Base, and I guess it comes in to the statement of intent for the organisation as a whole, but is the organisation generally operating as a commercial entity would? I'm also concerned by looking at these clauses that there appears to be exceptions being made or requested for the organisation, for the council to cover costs here, whereas if it was a commercial operation, that wouldn't be the case.
V-Base isn't truly a commercial organisation because it is also asked on behalf of the council to provide reduced entry fees to community groups, which it does do. Now, that comes at a cost to the company, and that's part of what's written in a statement of intent. So while the V-Base management are doing their best to provide a commercial organisation, they're also obliged to meet the requirements of their parent, which is also what they do. Now, last year was 6.
Just to clarify, I am a director of the V-Base. In our statement of intent, we propose to give $300,000 back to the community and reducing costs to the community to use some of the facilities. In actual fact, we gave away $656,000 last year. So if this council is of a mind, we'd be quite happy to reduce the level of discounts we give to the community groups back to the statement of intent, which therefore would actually put us in a slightly better position than we currently are in.
Why was more given than is required?
Because we continually get put under pressure to keep giving to the community groups, which we try to maintain, but we are put under a lot of pressure by the council to do that.
I'm just wondering, I'm just a bit, I mean, I see that there's a declaration of interest as a board member of V-Base here, but I haven't noted your declaration of interest. So if that was the declaration of interest, could we record in the minutes that we've just had a declaration of interest from Councillor Lonsdale, who was attempting to be helpful, and Tim Skendritt as well. I think that the point of this, though, is simply the minor changes to the non-financial operating targets for the 2014-15 year. That's really the focus of this report.
Yes, it's just accepting the draft statement of intent.
Right, so Vicky?
Just in 3.4.2, the World Cup cricket, there seems to be quite a lot of level of subsidy going on there, and an ongoing subsidy beyond the World Cup as well, in terms of the operation of the facility in the park. I'm just wondering if we are totally confident that all of our costs for next year have been picked up in the budget that we are expecting to come up against for the World Cup cricket.
Is that a question with respect to V-Base or wider than V-Base?
It's slightly wider than V-Base because I see that V-Base is negotiating an additional charge with council.
I don't think you can use a statement of intent to ask a wider question.
That's okay, I'll get it later, no problem.
We will follow that up, yeah.
When it relates to, my understanding is the council and V-Base have got an existing agreement to deliver services for these events. What V-Base are telling us through the statement of intent, that they want to come back to council and ask for more money because they can't deliver the services. Well, they're saying they can't do it within the budget that we've already set. So I don't want to support
I don't
that.
read it that way, so perhaps could we have advice on that?
No, that isn't the way it is. It is that V-Base was asked to provide those services, which they did. The original statement of intent did not include any allowance for the recovery of their costs, which is why we're saying here that is still to be done, and we've built in a provisional amount based on the General Manager's estimate of $200 for each. So that is to enable V-Base to recover its own costs for providing services to these two things on behalf of the council. Now, whether it's to answer your question, if I might, whether it's in council's budget is the problem of the council staff, because they knew it was coming up and they will have to meet it if they haven't.
So sorry, I went and talked to our sports and rec people this morning because I was concerned about this. My understanding is, and again, if you read what's in here, at present, the nature of the agreement is such that V-Base will not recover its full costs in providing the services. They're asking for additional charge with council to compensate it. So I think we need to be very cautious about putting this in the statement of intent. If they need to negotiate with our staff, that's fine, but I do feel concerned that they are asking for additional money outside of what that first agreement was, and that's something we would probably need to consider as a council if we wanted to go through that route. But, I'm really concerned about this.
I'm concerned about channels of information. So bringing an item to the table of council without a proper reporting function based on advice that I'm reading in a different way. So can someone respond to that?
Absolutely. So council and VBase staff are meeting to discuss the issue of compensation for VBase overhead, and that's just the staff time and operating overheads. So that may be why there's some confusion between full costs as opposed to staff time and overheads. I think that might be one aspect. And currently these discussions are still progressing, but we're expected that any compensation provided to VBase will come from current budgets.
Is there an existing financial arrangement with VBase over these? Is there an existing agreement with VBase around providing these services with council? And if so, what is the cost?
So I would,
Until agreed. Sorry.
if we could ask Patricia Christie up, ma'am.
Yep, thank you.
Why don't we invite Michael and he just slotted in over there? He's
Okay.
got the answers.
Absolutely.
Michael?
It's today. Okay. So my expectation is that there's an agreement for those services, but we're still tying down, as it says here, the issue of compensation. To the extent that the issue of compensation requires budget to be paid to VBase, that will be found from current budgets.
So the effect of having it in the SOI, but why do they need to put it in the SOI if it's happening already?
Because they do.
This is the statement of intent for the next financial year. It does need to accurately reflect the arrangements. So
It also, the statement of intent actually technically has to state all the compensation that you're requesting from the local authority, so the shareholder, and this is a statement to say they are seeking to request some funding from the local authority, so from council.
so we're not going to, as a council, be asked to find additional money to put into budgets. This will be found within existing budgets.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad we've got that on the record. Okay, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And now Raf Manji and Andrew Turner will move and second that the report as a whole be adopted. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.